Hello, hello. This is Prime, and this is my first dev vlog. So yeah, I'm making a kind of like a monster battle game, 6v6, similar to like Ceralium. Hopefully, call it that, saying that correctly. But yeah, so I've kind of got the basic UI. I've got some monsters set up, a couple of data. Mostly been working on kind of like the combat system basically, right? So right now I just have I'm still working on some floating text right now. I have kind of like a mouse over to see the stats, and I press spacebar right now, and then they just kind of do damage to each other until someone essentially wins, and then that's it. It's the game I have so far. I've built the system to be as modular as I possibly can, so each skill. Here we can go over some of them. They're in the prefabs right now. So I can build out skills, or I have skills basically set up as actions, right? And each action has kind of like a target and an executing effect onto the target, right? So right now I only have two basically. One kind of target yourself or target the front row. But in the future, I'll be able to add more of these targeting elements, which are all scriptable objects, where it's like target all the front row units, target all the back row units, and then I can mix and match, and I can just simply build out skills this way, and then I can then hook them up to the monsters, onto their command list, and things like that as well. So overall, I would say I have a good amount of the combat uh, infrastructure set up, and kind of working on basically debugging and testing, which is why I'm kind of working on a lot of the UI. Floating combat text is the next thing I want to do, so I can see kind of where the damage is being delivered. If a unit's going to hit two units, then I want to see two numbers basically bounce out, right? So that's kind of the game that I have. I've been working on this for roughly about a week so far. Um, I would say that I got some free art for the monsters. The background is AI, but I'm looking to change that. I just needed something there so that I can kind of level to see where the monsters are kind of placed, right? Like how much of the screen they were occupying and whatnot, as well. So yeah, that's what I have so far. If you're interested in my background, I've been in the game industry for about 13 years. Was a game designer slash technical game designer for a long time, and finally kind of got a job, stepped out of the game industry because it's pretty crazy and hectic. And I've been learning to kind of code on the side and seeing if I could do it as a hobby. And unfortunately, this year, year out of being in the game industry, got laid off. So got some free time, learning to do some more coding, and decided to, hey, why don't I just work on my own project for now? And this is kind of what I have so far. A lot of my expertise comes on the game design side and the technical side of things. Didn't necessarily code when I was in the game industry, but I knew enough about how to set things up data wise, and able to talk to engineers and kind of at least at the high surface level understand what I need to do, right? So something like this command AI list will allow me to essentially, oops, wait. Let's go back to the skills, right? Like, this one is just like apply effect to the first row target unit, right? Give yourself, oh wait, let's see. Let's have this do damage and then give myself a buff, basically, might, right? So I've just essentially configure the skill out right in the editor, and a lot of that's what my work was. I'm still at the phase where I'm still prototyping, obviously, but I'm eventually going to have all of this be set up into some sort of either JSON file or spreadsheet, and a bulk of my work will be pushed off into like a Google spreadsheet in terms of content and making designs and basically building out all the monsters, all the effects, and all the skills, right? So that part I'm not too worried about. Like I've done that for a very long period of time in my life, so uh, I'm gonna get myself to that point once I feel like I'm got my combat system and my UI in a better spot. Because right now it's really bad. Like, um, so one of the reasons why I chose Unity as my game engine is because it's what I've kind of I guess had the most experience with out of the 13 years. I worked 6 years of that in basically in Unity, right? At a lot of different studios, they have their own specific engines that they built from the ground up, and so portion of that was working on other people's game systems, right? But at the end of the day, there was some sort of spreadsheet where we could hook up our data into, and majority of my work, like I said, was just doing just that, right? So yeah, so this is a kind of the spot that I'm in. I'm kind of working, like I mentioned, on the floating combat text. Is my next goal for the week, and hopefully next week I'll have like a couple more monsters to work with, a couple more skills, and then kind of showcase that. My ultimate goal is to kind of get this combat simulator, I guess you could say, onto itch.io, and then have players like essentially like slot in and out monsters, right? Obviously, I'll have menus to do that, and combat is basically automatic. Right now, I hit the space bar because I just want to do step by step to see what's occurring. I'm hoping to have like kind of wouldn't say crazy combat system, but build out the skills and the abilities in such a way where things will trigger off of each other, right? Let's say a monster's like grant myself a might buff when I'm healed, right? So when a spell heals him, there'll be an on heal trigger. His trait will see that, or his passive will see that, and then he'll give himself the buff. And other things like maybe there's a passive of a monster where it's like all allied monsters now apply poison on hit, right? Um, I'll have some sort of, I guess, injection or whatever to add an action that will, essentially modify the effect to add an additional like poison effect onto the monster, right? And ultimately, like all the monsters will have different passives, different traits, and all that stuff, and it's going to be mix and matching all that stuff. And there's combat will get pretty crazy, which is why I'm working on it first, and why I'm working on kind of having all the UI elements portioned out so that I can kind of see and test it at the moment, right? Because right now I don't. Under the hood, they get the buffs, but it's only onto the game object itself. I need a way to kind of surface that buff onto the monster level, right? So right now I do have it where I have this obviously ugly tooltip, right, in red that you saw, right? So this guy, oh, he just killed him instantly, right? He attacks and then he applies might to himself, right? So I see that he has one stack of might. It's permanent, for now, and that's kind of what I'm working on. Uh, stats. I have a couple of stats. I don't really have a damage calculation. It's just simply like your attack minus the defense, right? So if you look at all the other monsters, they just essentially have one defense, right? Because I'm just kind of testing out to make sure all the plumbing, I would say, is working, right? Then I'll kind of get to the nitty gritty, do all that game design stuff later on, since I can do that in the snap of a finger, right? Like from my experience, right? Thinking if I'm going to have levels or not, and that will obviously affect how I kind of build out the game data some more, right? So overall, the process has been going pretty quickly. I've obviously AI is a thing. I've been using it to assist me with kind of learning how to code. Like I've been studying more of architecture than more of um, kind of more architecture than more on like how to build a game because I already have the experience of building the game, right? Like, so I'm making sure that the data is set, or sorry, the systems are set up in such a way where when I eventually come in as the designer, it becomes much smoother and easier to work with, right? I'm trying to decouple that as much as possible, right? I'm trying to build the game as decoupled as possible too, so in case I need to use it on, let's say, for another project, like this whole action sequence, I can already kind of lift that out into another game if I wanted to, right? Because um, I've basically essentially made it very, very modular. I'll probably go into more details probably in another devlog, but I just wanted to kind of showcase, kind of talk through on how to do this, right? Like one of the things about kind of going solo and watching other people do it is I realized that, oh, I want to do this devlog, but I don't have any B-roll. So I guess part of it is wanting to work more and to see like what else I can do in sense of like uh, maybe do more filming while I'm coding, and then I'll probably start to collect more B-roll footage and Hopefully, the next few devlogs I have will be a bit more exciting. But this is all I have for now. This is all kind of wanted to show off. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to post it, and I'll see if I can get to it. All right, thanks everyone.